You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma podcast. Mike Hearn here, your host, back with another episode. Excited to share this episode with you today, but before we do, I've got to thank our sponsors. First of all, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. They've been a huge part of this podcast for the last few years. So the Oklahoma Hall of Fame have been sharing Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com. And for daily updates, go to oklahomahof on Instagram and give them a follow. Our other sponsor today is the Chickasaw Nation. Now, the Chickasaw Nation have sponsored pretty much everything in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma, and it's an honor to have their name and their brand supporting this podcast. So a huge shout out to Governor Anatobi for supporting this podcast. It really means a lot. Our third sponsor is Diffie Ford Lincoln down in El Reno. Now, this one makes me so happy because these guys are great friends of mine, play a lot of golf together. I've bought my cars from them. Do most of my oil changes down there, have a cup of coffee, hang out down in El Reno. It's a good spot to go. And not only are they great friends, but they provide a great service. So for over 60 years, third generation family owned Oklahoma business down in El Reno. They're also in Bethany as well. So people in the Bethany area know the Diffies really well. But if you're looking for anything new, used, Ford, Lincoln, or whatever, I'm sure they could find anything you want. Check them out, diffieford.net, and then on Instagram at diffiefordlincoln. This episode is brought to you by the Doghouse OKC. Recently, I have been in need of some doggy daycare for my two pups, and the Doghouse have come in clutch. The team over there are incredible. They've taken care of my two golden doodles, and so it's been an honor to partner with them on the podcast and share the love. And the one thing that I do with the sponsors that I have is stuff that I use and recommend, like the Diffies with my car, Hall of Fame. They're awesome. Citizens Banks, where I bank. Chickasaw Nation, huge supporter of Oklahoma. And adding to that is the Doghouse. And so if you're in need of doggy daycare in the day or boarding overnight, they do grooming and other cool things too. But I've had a fantastic experience, and it's an honor and a privilege to share this with you too. So go to thedoghouseokc.com and follow them on Instagram at thedoghouseokc. And hopefully our pups will run into each other. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, host, back with another episode. We are down at the Oklahoma Hall of Fame today, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our guest, which is Trinity Lake from Trinity Lake Music. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, excited to dive into your story because you have a massive social media following. You're clearly very talented at music, and you've been back and forth to Nashville recently, so excited to dive into that. But for people, when you meet people for the first time, what's kind of like your, hi, I'm my elevator, like here I am, I do music, like what's your little bit about your backstory?
My backstory. So yeah, I was born in Ohio but raised here in Oklahoma. My mom was 17 when she had me, 16 when she had my older brother. We kind of moved around a lot. My dad was never present in my life, and I will say that my mom was probably my biggest inspiration growing up as far as like how I got into music. She was a singer as well, and that always was my biggest, that was very inspiring for me. But as I got older, in high school and in middle school, I was in show choir, jazz choir, all the musicals, all the plays, everything that involved music I auditioned for and I tried out for, and I absolutely loved it. But once I got out of high school, that's really whenever I started digging into my actual career and really finding my own voice. And so, yeah, whenever I got out of high school, I posted a silly video on TikTok and gained a little bit of a following. And I also had someone reach out to me, and I went on American Idol during COVID in 2020. And that was a really great experience as well. But what has really started my career is my amazing manager, who reached out to me through social media as well, and he's really helped me build my career. So,
okay, so a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
When did you move to Oklahoma?
So my dad at the time, he was in the Air Force, and so we were, my brother and I were born in Ohio. at the Air Force Base in Dayton. So I think around 2 years old we moved.
Oh, so yeah, all you really remember then is growing up in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you mentioned Mum's a huge inspiration, was a singer, and it sounds like there was always music probably playing and present around your childhood, around the house and stuff.
Oh yeah, all the time. She also auditioned for American Idol. So
at the same time you did?
No, whenever I was younger, I remember walking into the room and seeing her sit in the chair, and her best friend was like in front of her. And she was just like singing to her, like kind of practicing, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that.
Yeah. How old were you when that moment happened?
I think I want to say 6.
Okay.
6 or 7.
Yeah. So seeing that growing up, it was like, that's the moment that like, you're like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then you dive into it, and naturally, obviously very good at it, which helps, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
A little bit. So growing up in Oklahoma, you have an older brother, so you guys are very close in age.
Yep, 13 months apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's high school, middle school, going through that like with being involved in music and being around Oklahoma, which is we have a lot of really good musicians here from all genres of music too.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, as far as my brother, we have a best friend bond. Him and I are only 13 months apart, obviously, so very close in age. A lot of our friends are friends with each other. But, I mean, the first 2 years of high school, he went somewhere else, and then I went somewhere else as well. So we didn't really get to experience high school together. But the reason why I went to a different high school was for music. The show choir that I wanted to be in was at Edmond Memorial, and I absolutely loved it. Always saw them perform, and I was like, I really want to go audition for them. And so I did, and I got in, and I got to spend my last 2 years performing with the show choir there. And I mean, that was amazing for me, because to me, they were the best show choir in the state. So that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, when you see that, like you're like, I want to go there, and you're willing. Not changing schools is quite a big deal, especially when you're at that age, kind of a pivotal age of you got friends, and I remember being in middle school and high school. Like it's fun, but it's also really hard, right? Like there's a lot of pressure on you, especially when you have a talent and you want to go be on this show choir, and to do that you have to audition, but then you also have to move and change your friend group, which is good for you for kind of going through that and pushing yourself through that.
Yeah.
So that happens. You're super excited. You go to Edmond Memorial. Do you have any coaching or people in your pivotal moments or people in your life at this point that really help you progress as a kind of raw singer growing up with or do you? I mean, how does that go?
I mean, I like to look at it as a gift from God, because I never really had any vocal teachers ever. I mean, unless you consider my choir teacher. I mean, they worked with us with the class, and then sometimes one-on-one if we needed it for certain like state auditions like OCDA and also COCDA. But I never really had any vocal teachers. It's kind of just natural for me, which I'm so blessed about. So.
Yeah, and is to that point then, is faith still like quite a big part of your life?
It is a big part of my life. Growing up, my mom is agnostic. I was never introduced to God, and so I found him on my own whenever I was 17. I started going to church with my friends, my cousin, my grandma, and that's when I really started like studying the Bible and really building a relationship with God. So I do say that it is a pretty big part of my life. Yeah.
You're in Oklahoma. It's going to probably be around at some point, but obviously with your personal journey and personal walk, there's a lot of pros and cons and different ways to look at it, and you've discovered it on your own, which sometimes is a lot deeper of a bond versus just growing up every Wednesday, Sunday, going to church, and you're just there because that's just part of what we do.
Yeah, I agree.
So and then obviously you're 17 years old. You're a young adult at this point.
Yeah.
And have the whole world ahead of you, and just that realization to be like, oh, this is something I want. It's my decision to dive into it and learn about it. You mentioned your grandma. Is your grandma a singer as well?
My grandma's not a singer, but she is an artist. She does draw and paint, but she is not a singer. My brother actually plays guitar, so him and I had a really great bond because I mean, I live with my brother as well. He's my roommate. And so he's always coming out, hey, listen to what I played, like what I learned.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, let me see if I can just like kind of make up something on the spot. And we'll do that all the time. And it's one of the best reasons, like one of the main reasons why I love living with him is because we get to do that with each other and like explore that with each other. So yeah.
Have you officially collabed on any tracks together yet?
No, we
Not yet.
haven't. He is not a big fan of being behind the phone or being online.
Yeah.
So I don't ever pressure him into it, but he will play in the background, but he doesn't want his face in it.
That's fair. I mean, when you have such a huge following, you do, like, I mean, the social media world is a great place, but also it can be a very toxic, bad place too.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I get it. I understand, where he's coming from. And if it's not going to be his career, then he doesn't really have, he can sit behind the camera and play some music for you versus sat right next to you.
Yeah.
But that's super special to have that relationship with your brother. And obviously you're very close in age, but still to grow up together, to live together now.
Yeah.
And him be musically as well. Like you don't just have a brother, you have a best friend too.
Yeah.
That's special. Yeah.
I agree.
So all this is happening, music is happening, you see, you go back to being 6 years old thinking, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And, you get into being musical. You're a young woman, you're in high school, you think music is for me. What is the point? Like, how do you build a roadmap? Because most people listening, maybe a little older, and are thinking, back in the day we would just put out tracks and you'd have to go to a recording studio. It's a lot harder. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas now, because of social media, right, you basically have your own studio on your phone.
Yeah.
And you can just post and post and post, and if something catches wildfire, which for you it did.
Yeah.
What was your plan at the time growing up? Were you putting out content for a long time?
I mean, no. Okay, so like in high school, I never really thought of singing as being like a realistic career for me. I always thought maybe like the medical field, nursing or dental hygiene, something along the lines of that. So whenever I got out, I did go to school. I went to college. And when TikTok came out, I was like, you know what, I'll just mess around with it, see where it goes. I just started posting videos and I started gaining a following, but I still didn't really believe in myself until I, had all these opportunities kind of handed to me, like American Idol, a lot of people reaching out, asking if I had been signed and things like that. And I was like, you know what, this could be something that I do. Like, I need to believe in myself. And so the more I started like singing in front of people and performing in front of people, I was like, okay, I have a good voice. Like, I can do this. This is something I want to do. And so, I mean, I dropped out of college, completely like focused my life towards this music career.
Yeah.
And ever since I got my manager, he has helped me so much. He has sent me out to Nashville. He has gotten me studio time. I've now released 5 singles, and I'm so thankful for it. And I still have so much more room to grow. And I'm just excited to see what that's going to turn into.
Yeah.
It's a very slow process, I will say, but it's not something I'm going to give up on because I do know that I have the potential to be able to do it. So
yeah, I mean, you need to squeeze as much potential and squeeze as much talent out that you have and put it to good use, right?
Yeah.
When you get one life, and yes, you can always go back to school and get a job.
Exactly.
Right, and the last thing you want to be is late 40s regretting that you didn't give it everything you have. And so give it everything you have for as long as possible, which it seems like you're doing. Where did you go to school? University?
So I went to UCO my first semester, became a dental assistant, worked in a dental office for a little bit, transferred to Rose State College, finished all my prereqs to apply for the nursing dental hygiene program, realized I didn't want to do dental hygiene, switched it to nursing, had to do some other prerequisites. And then I just recently was like, you know what, I need to focus my time on music because I can't be going to school and trying to do music at the same time. Like, it's just a lot. I'm like, like you said, I can always go back to school, and I'm still young, so I'm always going to have that opportunity, regardless if this works out or not. So
during this time, when you're in school, does the viral TikTok video go like off first semester then, when you're in school, or is it before?
Yeah, so my first semester at UCO, I would say, right when TikTok came out, I started posting videos. And I think I gained around like 300,000 followers, which seems a lot, but like really it's not. Like it is, but it's
Yeah.
like a lot of people in Oklahoma have that
Big
many
followings.
like a big
Yeah.
following.
Yeah.
So now I look at it and I'm like, okay, I have a pretty good following.
Yeah, if
But-
you put all those people in a stadium or like in a building, that's a lot of people, right? But we don't think of people like
Yeah.
when you have a following, you don't like put them into
Yeah.
persons, right? If they're physical people standing in front of you, like,
Yeah.
whoa, I have a lot.
Yeah,
Like, that's
I
crazy.
do agree with that. Yeah.
But you're right, like and again, it's just a number that's on an app.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, I'm sure you meet people or people might recognize you when you go
Yeah.
out for dinner or whatever, but it's still like that's when you probably realize, oh, I have followers versus just having seen a number on your phone.
Yeah, no, that I will say, like, there has been multiple times where I've gone out of state or like even in state where people have recognized me and I love it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I'm like, what do I say to you though? I'm like, thank you. Do you want a hug? I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a guy, I went to the Oklahoma State Fair this last week and did the singing competition.
Okay.
And I was sitting with my boyfriend and like this family's like staring and the dad's like looking at my boyfriend. He goes, come here. And then my boyfriend goes over to him and he's like, that's your girlfriend, you're dating her, right? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, good. I want to take a picture with her because I've been following her for so long. He's like, I just wanted to get your permission first. And I was like, that is so cool.
That's hilarious.
I know, it was awesome. It's a great feeling whenever that happens because it makes me realize I do have people that like actually support me rather than just like know me from social media. I
Yeah.
guess. So
Yeah, it's different, right? Because the people, they just see you as a figure on their phone.
Yeah.
But then when they see you in real life and then they have a genuine interaction like that, it makes it real.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So what was the idea behind, obviously TikTok comes out, you're like, I'm just going to post. Was there any strategic kind of, I'm going to specifically post this type of music? Were you diving into kind of the content strategy, or were you just posting songs and singing songs that you loved?
In the beginning of me starting TikTok, I will say like a lot of it had to do with me bringing my personality in and singing. I like to show off my personality a lot. I have a really big personality. I'm a goofy gal. And then I started just doing covers. Like people would comment, hey, can you sing this? Hey, can you sing this? Hey, can you sing this? And I would just go through my comments and sing what people would request. And that's really what started building my following.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's really smart to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you build really good fan base because they actually know that you listen.
Yeah.
And then the songs that they, you're probably going to have someone on there that's going to throw out some crazy song. You're like, I've never heard that song before.
Yeah.
And then that
Oh,
grows
no,
you
there's
to
so
sing it
many
too.
songs that I've discovered just from being on social
Yeah.
media and looking through people's comments. I'm like, I've never heard of this. I really like it.
Yeah.
I need to listen to this more.
What was the song that went viral?
Oh my gosh. It was Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's so good. Which is a
And
song
what
from like
happened
my
was I
era.
wasn't even like I was singing it, but also like what happened was I was like my loneliness. I was like hitting my like
Yeah.
yeah, and so then like my wrist hit this, and I like went. I just did this weird face and like almost cussed, and I was like, and I like glitched out pretty much, and people like went crazy over
'Cause
it.
it
I
was
guess
real.
I have to show you it
Yeah.
for you to understand it
Yeah.
because I don't understand why it went viral, but it did, and it's still to this day my most viral video. Like why? How did that go viral?
How many views does it have?
I think like 19 million, 20 million.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Is it like how long's the clip?
It's like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were most of them kind of that length as well then, or do you do like a lot? I mean,
No, I mean, I do like, now I do like minute-long
Yeah.
covers usually. Some verses in the chorus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about that day. You post this video, you think it's a little silly, and then
I'm
you come
just-
back and your phone's just going insane.
Oh, it's blowing up. I'm
Yeah.
with my friends. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like refreshing it. My girlfriends are with me. They're like, Trinity, you could do something with
famous.
this. Yeah. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
this is just insane. And now I'm like, okay, no, this is
Yeah.
now starting my career.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it works. So
It's nuts, right? Like when you speak to older musicians, or just musicians who have been around a lot longer, maybe, that they've done it in their, we talk about Zach, right? Zach's a mutual friend of ours. Zach's been around playing piano, who's produced on the podcast for a long time. And he's kind of that, sits behind, doesn't want to be in the limelight, happy to play piano.
He is.
Even though he's extremely talented.
Yeah.
But he kind of got on the radar because he was out playing shows all the time, getting in front of people. Me and Zach are in our 30s, whereas like you've grown up, like everything, the entire audience is on your phone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's so much different.
Yeah, it's crazy that it works that way though, because it doesn't take that, it's that simple.
Yeah.
You obviously have the talent and have to be good at it. Like it doesn't happen without that.
There's definitely pros and cons to it though.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get behind your phone and perform. But it's a lot more difficult getting in front of people and performing.
Yeah, you've got to get
and that's something
that.
I realized like a little bit in my journey of this TikTok thing. Is I was like, okay, it's easy being behind my phone and singing, and then I'd go out and perform in front of people and I'd get nervous. And I wouldn't sing or put on my best performance as I did behind the phone. Yeah. But now I've done it so much that I'm like, okay, it's easy now, but starting off like that was something that was difficult for me. So.
Yeah. What happens after that viral moment then? You have people reaching out, people sending you messages. I mean, you've probably got a bunch of DMs that you've got to sift through. They're like, are these people legit? Are they trying to scam me? Like all this stuff that's going on.
I didn't really ever like pay attention to my DMs a lot. There was one manager I worked with prior to the manager I'm working with now, and we worked together for maybe 4 months. He was very weird. The Hollywood weird that they talk to you and warn you about, that's how weird it was. Yeah. And so whenever I ended that relationship with him, I didn't talk to anyone for a long time. The manager I'm working with now actually did reach out to me, and I do remember seeing his DM about the opportunity he had presented me, and I was like, I don't trust anyone. I was like, I just want to sing on my phone and like kind of go to school. And then about a year later, my mom texts me and goes, hey, this guy reached out to me, and he seems legit. You should talk to him. And I went back to his page, saw his DM that he had sent me a year prior, and I was like, okay, why not? Like, let's see. I mean, if my mom is saying to do it, why? I mean, I trust my mom. Yeah. So I did, and he's like my best friend, and he's the best person I've ever worked with.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, are you making money from social media this year? Like this, while this is happening?
I am making a little bit of money, but not enough to not have to work. You have to get a lot.
People think that you have, over a million total subscribers.
They're like, oh, you have a lot of following. Why are you working here? I'm like, because I don't make a lot of money. Yeah. I'm like, I've made probably like $1,200 this year.
Not all of them send me $1 each to make me a millionaire. Which would be awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
I would love that too.
Right. I mean, the thing is, like, I've been presented with record deals before, and that would make me money. Yeah. But I don't trust them. Yeah. Necessarily. But I do have something coming up. That's why I'm going to Nashville next month. Okay. To audition for a record label. Not really audition, but I'm going to sing for them, and if they like me, then there could be a potential signing there, and that could really set my career off. So I'm excited for that. Yeah,
there's opportunity everywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's just like I said, you got to be smart and take the right ones, and say no to the other ones too. Yeah. When then you mentioned American Idol.
Yeah.
When does that come about in this timeline of going to school, having your viral moment?
Oh, I already went on American Idol.
Oh, it was before that?
Yeah, I went on during COVID. I sang in front of Katie, Lionel, and Luke.
How was that?
Oh, my goodness.
And where was it? Yeah, Luke's going to be in town this weekend.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's playing Saturday night.
He is going to be in town.
In Oklahoma City.
I mean, no, it was a great experience. Yeah. I wouldn't go back on there. Because they do try to make like a story out of you, and I'm just like, I'm just a girl from Oklahoma. I just like to sing. I don't have anything like that. Like my mom didn't like.
But they want to make a story about. They're like, oh, you're about the whole story about your mom having you as a teen, and they want to blow all that stuff up, right, and kind of make you into a story for TV.
Yeah, no, it was a fun experience. I didn't unfortunately get like past them, but I did still have the opportunity to sing in front of them. So
were you on TV then for the audition?
I mean, they had recorded it, but they never aired my audition.
Okay.
They always said that they would give me the tape, but they didn't. I'm like,
That's
my
such
friend
nice.
even got the golden ticket, and they didn't even air his audition. So
What?
I think a lot of it had to do with like COVID and
Yeah, it's kind of a weird time.
yeah,
Where did you do the audition?
LA.
Okay, so you flew out to LA for it. I mean, I guess the process is you submit a video and then they pick you and then you fly out.
They reached out to me,
Oh,
and
nice.
then I did like 3 auditions, 1 in Texas, one, and then 2 online, and then I flew out there.
Yeah, that's quite a long process
Yeah,
to get to LA.
yeah. No, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun experience. Being in LA during COVID sucked. I couldn't even leave.
Can't imagine.
They were like 6 a.m. sharp. You have to come down here and take a nose COVID test. Yeah. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah. Did you sing the same songs at every audition, or did you sing a different song at each one?
I sang different ones.
Do you remember the songs?
Well, actually, something that happened was I had a song that I prepared for about 2 months prior before going to LA. The girl that reached out to me to go on American Idol, she set me up with a vocal coach to kind of like help me. And so I sang the song with this vocal coach. It was so fun. And then when I get to LA, 3 days before my audition, they told me the song wasn't approved. Yeah.
Kidding me.
Yeah, so I had to pick another song last minute. So I did Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. Katie had asked me to sing 2 songs. So I did Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, kind of like a slow version of it. And then I did My Mind by Yebba, which is a very difficult song.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know that one.
You'll have to listen to
Okay.
it. It's pretty good.
What kind of genre of music is it?
I would say like soulful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where your like kind
Yeah.
of talent lies?
Yeah, like kind of like Patsy Cline, Aretha Franklin, Etta James.
Okay.
Like Amy Winehouse. That's like kind of my vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got some pipes then. So like you've got some talent. I mean, they're not easy to get like in those. I mean, those are all incredible singers.
Yeah.
And it's very. I mean, yeah. I'm just thinking of. I mean, Amy Winehouse is a legend.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I grew up on her.
such a great singer.
Yeah, they're my
So-
biggest inspirations
Yeah.
for my voice. So.
Okay. And that's did Mum listen to that a lot growing up as well?
Oh yeah.
That's why it was kind of on in the background. Have you gotten to see, obviously not Amy because she's passed, but have you gotten to go to a lot of live shows and see your kind of
Everyone
idols?
else is passed away too.
Oh, sorry. I mean, that's my limited knowledge of music.
No, I haven't. I mean,
Do you go to shows though?
I do. I do go
Yeah.
to a lot of concerts. I mean, I've seen a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, talking to, Ricky about like his music stuff, and we had a conversation the other day that he doesn't listen to the music that he plays because it's all for, he listens to other music, other genres for more inspiration. Do you do the same?
Oh yeah.
What's
I
some
listen
of
to
your
pretty
favorites?
much everything. I would say like I listen to a lot of folk or like alternative music, R&B. I mean, I feel like I listen to everything, spiritual music. I mean, everything except for like screamo and opera.
You don't like Korn or System of a Down?
Yeah, no.
Thinking of all the bands I used to listen to as a kid. Not Korn. But System of a Down has some great
Pop
songs.
music. I mean, yeah, I listen to everything.
Okay. And do you see yourself? I mean, you're obviously going out to Nashville again, and just got back from Nashville. I mean, a lot of people know Nashville is just country music central, but it's music central. It's not just country music.
It's
So a lot of people
getting
probably
to the
listen
point
you.
where it's not just country.
Yeah, people say, "Oh, I'm going to Nashville," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, are you going to sing country music?" Which I'm sure you get asked all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Which again is its own animal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really neat. So all this is going on. You drop out of school. You think music now is, like I see a future in music. I see a future for me. Social media is kicking off. You're getting all this attention from social media. Some of it's great, some of it's not so great because social media, again, can be a cesspool of bad people. You get rid of your terrible manager, you find a new one. Things are looking up. Things are going in the right direction.
Yeah.
What has happened since then? I guess since let's say the last 3 years. How has that progressed since getting the new manager and going out to auditions and
Yeah.
being in that world. Like, this is your career now.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I mean,
fully going into
my
it.
confidence has definitely increased.
Right.
That's for sure. So, I mean, 3 years ago, I can definitely say that I wasn't in a place where I thought it was realistic for me to do this. And now I am in a place where, I mean, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that has changed for the good. And then as far as just being like confident and like being able to perform in front of people without like feeling like I'm going to be judged. I think a lot of like the big problem for me in the beginning was, oh my gosh, these people are going to judge me, blah, 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 blah. And now I just think to myself, I'm about to go on stage and I'm probably never going to see any of these people ever again. Yeah. And so that I've like kind of wired into my brain, and I just kind of just sing and let it out. It's the best way for me to express myself. Whether I'm angry, sad, happy, like singing is what I go to. And I've realized that definitely in the past 3 years as well.
And there's a song for literally every emotion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you could, sing sad songs, happy songs.
Yeah.
Like
it's my therapy. It's like my escape. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Have you been more kind of structured and more strategic with the social media side of things since then? Like, you post so many videos a day, you're doing different songs, like, versus just kind of like, oh, this is just fun. Like, this is your job now, right? So you got to kind of look at it through a different lens.
Yeah.
But has that kind of reflected in your content?
Yeah. I've learned so much since being on social media. I mean, I used to just post covers, and now, I mean, anytime I have a single coming out, I have to promote it in a way that's kind of almost like clickbaity, which to me is kind of a con of being an artist. It's not my favorite thing to do, but you kind of like almost have to do it.
Yeah.
But I've definitely learned so much from being on social media, interacting with my fans, responding to comments more, going live every day, posting a story. I mean, I post at least once a day using hashtags, responding to DMs. There's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like a second job. But I love it at the same time. So it doesn't bother me too much that I have to do some things that I don't necessarily like to do.
Yeah, it's the whole machine, right? Like, it clearly got you your start, and it's also free.
Yeah.
Right? Like, to be on TikTok and be on social media, and you have the setup at home, and it all serves the purpose of your fans, your followers, and that's all going to help, because when that single goes out, they're the ones that's going to first listen to it, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets traction, and you said you've had 5 out right now? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you written all those yourself?
No, okay. I have not. I wrote a little bit in one song, but the other songs were kind of pitched to me by other songwriters, and I was like, you know what, I like this. I want to cut my vocals on this. Yeah. I definitely want to get into songwriting. It's something I've always loved to do. I write every single day for at least 30 minutes just to practice, but I haven't gotten the opportunity to actually release one of my own songs, unfortunately. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it, right? Like, the good thing is it's a passion. You do it every day. There's no pressure around you writing every day, right? Yeah. I know you do it as a practice, which is smart, but there's no one coming to you being like, hey, we're waiting for the next single, like, get to writing. Yeah. It's nice to have people pitch you and, like I said, cut your vocals on other, because that's their profession. They write songs for a living. They maybe they don't have the voice that you do, or they don't want to be in front of the camera. Yeah. Which is the beauty of the music industry. Any highlights or any moments over the years, or things that, like, I mean, you mentioned someone coming up to you at the state fair and noticing you. That's kind of cool. But is there any moments from, like, idols or people that you've met going and traveling that you're like, this is my job, I get to do this?
Yeah.
Like, just fun moments that you, even though maybe someone listening might not think it's cool, but you think this was, like, for me, this was a nerd out cool moment.
Yeah, I mean, my manager, he, in the beginning of me starting out and recording all of these songs before I had released them, he had Alicia Keys as, like, kind of my mentor. I know.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And so she would kind of just, like, text him, like, what she thought, what she thinks my voice fits best for, as far as, like, genre goes. So I thought that was kind of cool, being able to kind of be in, like, a group with her,
Yeah.
and have a little connection with her. So that was awesome.
She just released a new song with Swedish House Mafia called Finally. You heard that yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I need to listen to it.
It's Swedish House Mafia made a return after a while of being
Yeah.
out, and they were like my kind of like high school,
Yeah.
college music love. And then they came back and they released a Shoes on a single with them,
Yeah.
which is the good thing about like the vocals that you have is the vocals they're not tied to a certain genre either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you could put your vocals over a dance EDM house song,
Yeah.
or you could just sing them just you and a guitar,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the really cool part about it, and that's all obviously fun and different and gives you this huge variety of options, opportunities versus
Yeah.
being like I just sing country music.
Yeah.
So
Well, I would say the stuff that I've put out is mainly like pop. I did a cover of Girl Crush, and that was a really fun process for me. I pretty much, I told my manager, I said, hey, I really want to do a cover for my album because that's kind of what I'm known for.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if we take like a country song but kind of like make it my own? So I took Girl Crush, one of my favorite songs to sing, and made it my own. It's not country.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know how to explain what it is, and it's mainly just my voice. Like some instrumentals to it, but mainly just my voice, it was just a really fun
Yeah.
process with my producer. So, but some other highlights. I mean, Michael Bublé's commented a couple times. Meghan Trainor follows me. Khloe Kardashian's commented. I'm trying to think. A couple
stuff that high school Trinity would lose her mind
Oh,
over.
I still lose my mind about it.
Yeah,
Like I'm
it's-
like, I'll text my mom and be like, Michael Bublé just commented. And Teddy Swims has commented. He's reacted to one of my videos. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of celebrities that I look up to that have came into contact with my page, and I'm like, that is so awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's the beauty of social media, right?
Yeah.
Like these other people have social medias as well, and
Yeah.
you know, if they see you, and all it takes is one video for them to see you and be like, I want to collab with this person.
Yeah.
And bring, then they bring you in, and you're on a track with some megastar, and that again is another stepping stone in the right direction.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Justin Bieber's whole model, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was found on YouTube, and now he's megastar.
Yeah.
Who would you love to collaborate with? Do you have a top list of people? Teddy Swims can sing too.
Teddy Swims
Such a
would
good voice.
intimidate me.
I mean, he seems like the nicest guy ever.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
looking
he
at
does.
him, he'd
I
be
feel like
intimidating.
if I were to collaborate, it would have to be with a guy because my
Okay.
voice is like very deep. Not deep. It's definitely like low and like raspy,
Okay.
and it needs to go with someone else who kind of has the same vibe, but not another girl because I just feel like that doesn't really ever
Yeah.
go well. I would say like Daniel Caesar.
Okay.
He's one of my favorites. Teddy Swims is up there as well.
Well, if Teddy's listening
This
to the
guy named
podcast, he can
Goldford,
reach out.
he's not a really big artist, but he's amazing, and he's also one of my friends, and I've always wanted to collab with him, and his voice is very soulful and like raspy, and I love it, and so him as well.
Okay. Yeah, Teddy, if you're listening.
Teddy,
reach out.
Teddy Swims.
He played here last year too, actually. Like he played at Criterion last year. That's the beauty, I think, of Oklahoma too. Like we've got some great shows coming through here. A lot of people like have skipped Oklahoma historically, but now they don't. Other than people going to Kane's Ballroom because it's legendary.
Oh yeah.
People now are making stops in Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
I know.
What's the local scene like here for you? Do you have artists here that you collaborate and connect with and talk to? I mean, got some
that's something I'm
musicians on
working
here.
on. I occasionally will sing jazz with a band.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm trying to get some more gigs together.
Yeah.
And I need to talk to Zach about that, actually.
Yeah, Zach can
because
definitely help that.
we were talking about it for a moment, and then I stopped working at the bar that I was working at, and then we kind of like fell out of our connection.
Which
but
bar was that?
Stag.
Oh, the
Cigar Lounge?
Cigar Lounge.
Yeah.
I don't like cigars.
I don't either. I don't know why I worked there.
Well, shout out to where you're at now if you want to
Team
share
Lau.
it. We're at Deem.
Come to Team Lau and see me.
Which is
See
the
Trinity.
best. Yeah.
I work there today, 2 days. No,
Great katsu chicken sandwich that I had the other
Great
day.
pad thai, Peking
Great
out.
pad thai.
Everything is amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, I'll have to connect you with Zach. Reconnect you with Zach. I'll text
Yes.
him and figure that out, because that's the one thing that he spoke a lot about too, was just like the scene here, the Oklahoma Opry's, you know, kind of coming back around, and they're trying to raise that up, and the jazz scene here is really good. UCO has a great jazz lab, right? And I had I mentioned it in the Zach podcast. He was been on Brian Garl was on the podcast. He one of the professors at UCO on the jazz side.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
We've got a great like jazz scene here, and that obviously tends to the style of music that you sing too. Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy it with a full band?
I do.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it, because whenever there's like a little instrumental or like a break, I kind of just can hear all the instruments behind me, and I love it. The saxophone's my favorite. It's so nice.
Have you connected with Darcy Lynn at all?
I have. Okay. I've sang with her a couple of times.
Okay, good. That was going to be my next kind of connection, because she's been on the podcast a couple of times, and she's great.
Yeah, I love Darcy.
Been through it as well, and someone that you can really kind of learn and connect with, because you're both kind of...
Yeah, she's putting out her own music as well, and she's kind of steering away from the
ventriloquism. Yeah.
Ventriloquism. She's trying to get out of that and really start her career as an artist. We talked about that. I love Darcy. I forgot to mention her.
No, she's great. At this point in life, you're going back to Nashville in a month for that audition.
That's kind of going to dictate the next couple of months and the rest of the year and next year.
So if that goes to plan, best case, what does that look like?
If that goes to plan, best case, I will most likely be moving to Nashville and signing a little deal. Yeah. But it's not a promise yet. Yeah. It's just to see, and it's also an audition for them as well, to see if I think that we would work together. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to potentially work with a record label, because I really think that could set things off for me. Yeah.
That's the natural next step in your career is, hey, if this goes really well, they want you to move down there, they want you to be down there around all the musicians, and then collaborate and work around for their label, and that's how they build the machine, and off you go, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah. If that doesn't happen, continue to do the same thing, do shows, and can really do the social media
shows
thing.
I still have some more songs I'm going to release, and I definitely want to start doing shows, even if I'm not singing my own singles, at least doing like a cover band, or I've always told myself, even if this doesn't work out the way that I want it to, it's still something that I'm always going to do, whether that's performing at weddings or doing gigs at bars or things like that. Like, that's still something I would enjoy, regardless of fame or not. Like, I don't really care about that aspect. Yeah. Singing is what I love to do. And so whatever happens, putting it in God's hands, and just going to trust the process and just go with the flow, kind of.
This is the God-given talent that you have, right? And you're going to use it for the rest of your life. And as long as you have a voice, you're going to use it for, like I said. And back to what you said earlier, this is, as much as it is a vehicle for you to make money and to make people happy by singing, it also serves you a greater purpose as far as like therapy and getting your thoughts out there and just releasing your energy and just having a good time with it. Whether that's in front of a crowd, in front of your phone, or just to nobody, because you just love to sing.
Yeah.
So
I do it all the time. I just sit in my room and I'm like, I just want to sing. I'll sing for like an hour. No, it's amazing. I mean, after this, like if it doesn't work out, I have a plan, but I don't want to look at it like that. I'd rather just trust that it's going to work out. I can't expect it to work out in a year. I can't expect it to work out in 2. I don't want to put a time limit on it. I'm just going to keep trying. And eventually, I feel like I'll get my answer. Yeah,
you will, and you're so right. And I think
I'm still so young, so it's like
that's what I was about to say. As young as you are, the way that you're going about your career is a lot older. You have an old soul and an old head on your shoulders, right? Is what we used to say. Like
I get told that all the time.
Do you? Yeah. See, I can tell, because like the way you understand it, right? You understand that this. This could not happen, right? You could not have gone viral. You could be a dental hygienist right now, and you could still be in college or working, we don't know. Yeah. But you have this talent, and for some reason, you posted a video of you doing Britney Spears with a little glitch in it that went super viral, and it's led down this path. And, you have that awareness that this is going to, sometime this may end, but
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy it and give it everything I have for as much as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, you can always go back to school and always go back to a job.
Exactly.
You know, there's thousands, millions of people out there who would love to be doing in your shoes right now.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. What about the outside of music? What other things to get you? You said you're goofy. What things do you like to do outside of music? Yeah.
I am goofy. I mean, I play guitar, I play piano. I know that still involves music, but that's
Okay.
some of my hobbies that I really like to do. I like to crochet blankets.
Do you really?
I love crocheting.
When did that start?
Probably about like 2 years ago.
Okay.
I went to Hobby Lobby and I like saw this big fluffy yarn. I was like, I really want to do that. I saw this girl like making a blanket on TikTok and I was like, I want to do that. So I got all the yarn and I make blankets now.
Okay.
I love it. I'm like an old lady, honestly. I like to kind of keep to myself. I don't like going out a whole lot. I like to be at home and cook, watch shows. I enjoy, the only really thing that I read is my Bible. I like going on walks. I love fishing. Like catfishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a big country girl.
You're an out. That's the last thing people would think if they probably saw you. They saw you. Like,
Yeah,
you were walking
I would
today,
say
you're
that
like,
it didn't start until my boyfriend and I met, so creds to him.
Okay.
But he's got me into fishing, and I love it so much. And
Credit
so
to the boyfriend. Love
I know.
that. Getting you outdoors and fishing.
No, I love it. We go all the time.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point where like I'll like separate the worms. Like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't go into detail.
No,
but
you can go into there's
I've gotten
definitely
to the
people who
point where
fish
I
here.
get down and dirty with it. Okay,
Okay.
and I do it, and yeah, I've definitely developed a relationship with fishing. So.
Yeah. What's the biggest catfish you've caught?
Nothing yet. He catches all of them.
Okay.
I catch like all the bait that
Yeah.
he uses to go catfishing, and then I'll try and catfish. We'll sit out there for like 2 hours, and I think we're just not getting lucky with the spots that we go to. We definitely want to do like more of it because we kind of just started like a couple months ago.
Okay.
We got like some really good fishing poles, spent a lot of money on them, and we still haven't caught anything. So
Okay. If anyone's
that's kind
listening,
of embarrassing. Don't ask me.
if anyone's listening, they want to teach you guys proper catfishing. I know a store. There is a store, JD Adams and Co. That's on May. I think it's May and Hefner is where you need to go for fishing stuff. Shout
I
out
think
to
we
them.
went there.
Probably it's like the best and maybe the only great fishing store in town. And
Yeah.
they're awesome. Yeah, JD Adams and Co. You should definitely check those out. Catfishing, I did not expect you to say that.
Yeah.
Have you-
or
have
just
you thought
fishing
about
in
going,
general.
like-
It doesn't even have to be necessarily catfishing.
Well, yeah.
Just fishing in general.
Have you thought about going noodling? Have you seen
No.
that? That's crazy to me.
That thing would take me out.
Yeah.
It would take me out.
Yeah. Sticking your arm in a hole wait for fish to
I'm
bite
100
you.
pounds.
Yeah.
That thing is half the size of me. I'd probably drown.
Okay. So, do you own a rocking chair? Are you knitting in a rocking chair?
No, I do it on my
Crocheting?
floor.
Okay.
I do it
Because
on
that
my
would
floor.
really be an old thing to do.
Yeah.
Sat there listening to music.
My Nana actually taught me how to crochet. So I do have like the crochet, like the small, like thin
Yeah.
yarn that I can
Uh-huh.
crochet with, but I haven't learned too much with that. I mainly just like the big yarn.
Yeah.
The thick
My
yarn.
mum does it. My mum
Yeah.
has done it my entire life.
Yeah.
Like she
I
just
love
sits
it.
in the corner.
It's also therapy. So.
Yeah, has her headphones in, sits in the corner, and she would like crochet or knit baby blankets and like socks and gloves for family friends who just had babies and
Yeah,
stuff like
my
that.
Nana did the same with me. She would make blankets for me and my brother and all the grandkids, and she always did it around me. I grew up going to her house because my mom was in school whenever she was younger, and so she was always crocheting around me,
Yeah.
and I just sat down with her one day and learned it, and I still know it to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, fishing, crocheting,
Reading.
reading your Bible.
I do like playing pool. I'm a pool shark.
Okay, so at Prism. Then have you played pool at Prism yet?
Like once or twice. I don't
Okay.
really go out that direction because it's
a bit-
kind of out of
bit
the way.
South of your
Yeah.
out of the way. Okay. Prism's the new bar that's opening up in Midtown that has a free pool table.
Sister with the bar that I work at.
Yeah. Yes. Where do you go to play pool?
Typically like Majors in Edmond or Hopscotch.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize they had a pool table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will tell you, people listening will probably laugh at this. Don't ever play somebody from the UK for money in pool.
Are they good or are they bad?
No, they're good, but the tables in the UK, the pockets are smaller.
Oh.
So the pockets out here, because
They're bigger, so you guys are
it's
used
easier.
to
So we're used to like
small pockets.
Yeah. So you play. So anybody out here,
Noted.
yeah. So anybody out here that plays pool, and someone from the UK is like, "Oh, I play pool." You're like, play a few games before
That's
you
so
play for
funny
money.
because I actually did play pool with like someone from the UK not too long
And they were
ago.
good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were. They beat us in like 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, that's why. Because there's a lot of pubs back home. A lot of them have pool tables and dart boards.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that whole scene in Ted Lasso with the dart thing too. Like everybody's like that. Everyone grows up in it. If you grew up back home, basically like you're playing pool at some point.
Mm-hmm.
My golf club had a pool table. Like there's just stuff because it rains all the time. We need stuff to do inside, and so yeah, we always kind of have that pool table stuff. So are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right.
Okay. So
I'm good though. I promise you. I could probably beat you. No, I'm joking.
you just said that on the podcast, so that's a challenge now. We're going to have to figure that out and have to do that. We're going to have a bet on that, I think.
I beat Ricky. And boom.
I don't think they're going to be too happy that you just said that.
That's okay. They can live with it.
They'll live with it. That's Trinity's bosses, for anyone who's listening that doesn't know who Ricky and Boom are. Well, good. That's super exciting to kind of be where you're at right now. Kind of just a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential. Clearly working very hard at it, putting out a lot of content, engaging with your friends. Is there anything else that's coming up that you're excited about, or any shows? I mean, this is a chance to reach out to people listening if they want to come support you or point them in the right direction or anything.
I wish I had some
you could
shows
ask them.
coming up. I'm still like in the process of kind of getting that all together, because a lot of the songs that I've released are like very produced and it's hard to sing them live.
Sure.
And so we're waiting to kind of, I don't know, I guess release more songs before we have a show. But I always do go out and perform karaoke, and occasionally I do jazz. I perform with a jazz band, and I always post about those. So if people do want to follow me and find out whenever I do perform, I always post about it. So
At Trinity Lake Music.
At Trinity Lake Music.
Okay. Karaoke bars. What's your go-to?
Michael Murphy's.
Yes.
Dueling. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
You play piano there too?
No,
you
it's on
just
the
rock
stage.
out.
Like usually the band's
That's right.
playing.
They've got the band playing.
Yeah.
Which they're great.
Yeah. Cats is fun.
Cat's
Tavern.
Yeah.
It gets a little hectic, so I try to stay away from there. But Cookies is always fun because people like cookies. They go there for karaoke, and a lot of the other people can sing so good.
Yeah.
And I go there for that reason. So I'm like, okay, I can sing. And then all these other people have extreme talent as well, so I like watching that.
Yeah, you're connecting with like-minded people.
Oh yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you go.
I didn't. So up until this year, June this year, I didn't realize that Cookies was a thing.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine had his half birthday at Cookies because his real birthday he had COVID, so they pushed it back to his half birthday, and he rented out Cookies.
Yeah.
And they had like 40 of us there singing.
Yeah.
I didn't sing karaoke.
It's a tiny little bar, but it's fun.
Such a great spot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much of an institution it is in the Oklahoma City karaoke scene.
Yeah.
So Cookies, I apologize for not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
Do you have a go-to karaoke song if you get one song at it?
Yes, "Love on the Brain" by Rihanna.
Okay. Why that song?
Because
I assume it's one of her slower ones.
It's big. It's very out there, and people don't ever expect my voice to come out of my body.
Because you weigh 100 pounds.
Because I weigh 100 pounds and my voice is like deep.
Yeah.
No one ever expects it, and I feel like that song like showcases my voice pretty well because there's like the low notes and then there's the really high notes.
Okay. I'm gonna have to listen to it when we stop recording.
Yeah.
So Rihanna,
Love on the Brain.
Love on the Brain. Save that one on my Spotify. It's probably going to be the only Rihanna song I have in my Spotify. It wasn't really one of my things.
Heartbreaker, Pat Benatar. I know you know that one.
I have not. I probably heard
You're
it.
a heartbreaker.
Oh yeah, of course. I know that one.
It's a little fun rock one to do.
Okay, a band that I absolutely love that I'm actually going to see in a couple of weeks that has a very, very good voice, the lead singer does, and something I think after us having conversation you might understand. Red Clay Strays.
Okay,
Have you
yeah,
heard their new
I know
song?
them.
Have you heard the new song Drowning?
Wait, can you sing it?
Can I sing?
I feel like I do know that song.
I'll play it, but I think this is something that like you would crush.
Drowning.
Yeah.
I feel like I know that song.
I'm not going to play it right now, but
I've probably heard
I'll
it.
play it once we stop recording. Well, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
Wish
you.
all of the success that you deserve. I know you put in a ton of hard work. And for people listening, go to Trinity Lake Music on socials. Keep an eye out. Request some songs in the comments, and maybe you'll get lucky and hear Trinity sing. I'm going to request this one right now, Drowning by Red Clay Strays.
Okay.
So we'll hear that one maybe.
You'll hear it today.
All right, that's your today's song. Thank you. And yeah, for people listening, thanks for checking in, and we will catch you next episode. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hope you guys enjoyed that great episode. Thank you so much for listening. As always, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, sharing Oklahoma story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com and follow them on Instagram for daily updates at oklahomahof. Our other sponsor, the Chickasaw Nation, amazing sponsor. They do amazing things for the state, and they're always sponsoring something in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma, and without their support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And our third sponsor is Diffie Ford Lincoln down in El Reno. Now, this one makes me so happy because these guys are great friends of mine, play a lot of golf together. I've bought my cars from them, do most of my oil changes down there, have a cup of coffee, hang out down in El Reno. It's a good spot to go. And not only are they great friends, but they provide a great service. So for over 60 years, third generation family owned Oklahoma business down in El Reno. They're also in Bethany as well. So people in the Bethany area know the Diffies really well. But if you're looking for anything new, used, Ford, Lincoln, or whatever, I'm sure they could find anything you want. Check them out, diffieford.net, and then on Instagram at diffiefordlincoln. This episode is brought to you by the Doghouse OKC. Recently, I have been in need of some doggy daycare for my two pups, and the Doghouse have come in clutch. The team over there are incredible. They've taken care of my two golden doodles, and so it's been an honor to partner with them on the podcast and share the love. And the one thing that I do with the sponsors that I have is stuff that I use and recommend, like the Diffies with my car, Hall of Fame. They're awesome. Citizens Banks, where I bank. Chickasaw Nation, huge supporter of Oklahoma. And adding to that is the Doghouse. And so if you're in need of doggy daycare in the day or boarding overnight, they do grooming and other cool things too. But I've had a fantastic experience, and it's an honor and a privilege to share this with you too. So go to thedogHouseOKC.com and follow them on Instagram at thedogHouseOKC. And hopefully our pups will run into each other.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.